Hey, everybody, welcome to the Rhett Sever podcast, where everybody has Sever fever and says it's on at last. Hey, everybody. So, we are here today with the amazing storyteller Sherri Rosen. She, I, I mean, I should ask her, goes all around the world, but mostly I've seen her in New York City, telling her stories, and she just is a very fascinating character. And I met her at the Stark Reality open mic at 353 Studios, and we've been going to that and having a lot of fun. And so, yes, here is Sherri. Sherri, how are you doing?
Great, Rhett, and tell everybody, I have to tell everybody that I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
We
Um,
just, we
yeah.
just hit it off in the open mic through the months and
Yeah.
just slowly, became friends, girlfriends.
Yeah, we're girlfriends.
Yeah.
And we're gonna brunch even.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So, Sherri, I wanted to ask you what, um, any types of artworks that have like influenced you, and really like maybe even maybe changed your way of thinking. It really opened you up to another world. Anything like that, I like to talk about.
Great. I actually I wanted to go to drama school when I was 18 or 19, and my folks wouldn't send me, and I didn't have the money to go myself. So many years later, when I was at the age of 30, I decided, living in New York City, I was going to give it being an actress. I was just going to start doing it, taking classes and going on auditions because I didn't want to lead a life of looking back and saying, of regrets, shoulda,
Right.
woulda.
Yeah.
And I gave it 10 years. And then I became a book publicist. And I was working with so many authors that I started writing myself, but I started writing nonfiction. And I also created some books. And one thing led to another, and it opened the door quite magically to storytelling. And that's where I felt really blessed because I feel with storytelling, probably a lot of people that are listening, you create or I create my own stories from my own life, and they're as honest as I possibly can be.
Mhm.
So, what was happening to me is I had all of these feelings inside me. I could say it and sometimes in the writing, but I wanted to talk. And a lot of times in a one-to-one conversation, I don't know about you, but you can't really go that deep with many people. It's really asking a lot. You see their eyes rolling or they disconnect or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I find. So, what I found with storytelling, there's a freedom for me of being on stage. There's a freedom for me of being able to be vulnerable
Mhm.
and open. And also what's happening is the people in the audience aren't being singled out.
Mhm.
And so they're comfortable and they can make the decision themselves of, hey, I think I'm going to go on this journey with her, or I'll go to sleep, whatever. But they're not being singled out. And that's what gives me the freedom to be able to say some of the things that have happened during my lifetime that I haven't been able to share. And
Mm.
also, it's kind of a legacy that I'm leaving to my family if they want to listen, if they want to watch, of what has happened. Because there's so many people I know and families, they don't have a clue about each other.
Yeah.
Or they're so different, they don't want to know about each other. And that's, to me, is the gift of storytelling, is that I mean, one of the big lessons that I've learned too, and through my kids, is accepting people the way they are and not the way I want them to be.
Hmm.
And that is huge. That's huge. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But the storytelling has given me a free where I really can say to you, I feel free on stage. And
Yeah,
that's really exciting. And sometimes what can be beautiful, like performed in some retirement homes, and I explained to them exactly about storytelling, because sometimes in these retirement homes, they live in a bubble. So I have to explain everything. And then I'll share a story. And then I'll ask for questions and answers afterwards. And what I find is that can be the juiciest of all, because some of these
yeah,
people, when they answer the questions or ask the questions, they'll start sharing stories of their own that
yeah.
they've never shared with anybody. And that's really exciting. Yeah. So
Yeah, because I think it inspires that since people realize they're not alone and they want to just get things off their chest, because I think we're evolving out of a culture of silence, like especially before the internet, it was all about silence and people were ashamed and so and I get a sense of that culture that the whole world was in your storytelling when you tell stories it there's that theme of the culture of silence, and maybe that's also why you do what you do, because it's therapeutic in getting out things that you had to oppress or suppress, repress, all the presses um for so many years. And it's like a therapy, right? Like,
it is, but it's done in such a delightful way of storytelling that
yeah,
people don't realize, or I hope they don't realize how healing it is for me and for them if I'm skillful enough, to do it. And the stories aren't about ranting or raving or blame.
right.
Hopefully most of them will inspire people. I had actually something happened the other day with a actress on Facebook. We had performed in the same venue for Women's History Month at the Tank Theater,
Hmm.
and apparently she liked my storytelling, and we became friends on Facebook. And then she watched this story that I performed about my mother, and I didn't hold back.
Yeah, that's an amazing story.
And she wrote me and she said, Sherri, I just watched your story about your mother, and it made me realize that I wasn't honest in my storytelling. And because of watching you and your honesty, I'm going to do the story over. And I
Wow.
said to her, isn't that amazing that we can inspire people without even knowing it?
Yeah.
And I just was so delighted that she connected in that way and wants to do it over. Yeah.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
she's been really supportive. We just really kind of uh, had a very powerful connection. She seems also very, very experienced and very supportive. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool because like, I was asking your influence and you're influential. Um, you know what I mean? The original question is I asked, um, but I do want to go back to that, but I actually want to address something you said. What did you mean by you hope people don't know that it's healing for you? What's wrong with people knowing that it's healing for you? Um,
Because I guess I have this feeling about, I hope they don't feel like it's a therapy session.
well, no, I don't think people are going to, what's the word? I don't know. judge you or think you're stealing by getting free therapy.
Well, it's actually, I
But,
mean, it's just therapeutic to be able to, for me personally,
hmm
it's especially in this day and age,
hmm
it's so therapeutic to have a stage to be able to tell the truth.
Yeah, I
How
know.
many places can we really tell the truth, especially now with what's going on?
I know. And what's crazy is we're raised to, they say tell the truth and value the truth. But I think it's because it's an overcompensation because we know that we don't. You know what I mean? And
Well, you
oh,
know, in
it's
the
like
family of origin that I grew up with, I always was the one that saw the elephant in the room
exactly.
as a little girl, and I was told that I was crazy, and I believed it. I believed it,
I know they gaslight.
and eventually I just shut my mouth because I realized that it was just getting me into more and more trouble. And I believed what they were saying to me, that I was crazy. And of course, this was during the time of silence. You know, here I come along open and saying all this stuff, and I'm living in a generation of complete silence where nobody said anything. And when you walked out that door, you just looked, you're supposed to look, in my family, beautiful. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like keeping up with the Joneses type culture. It's really crazy. But I mean, with obviously being as comfortable as you can, not like getting too personal or whatever. But I just wanted to address like, can you think of some examples of elephants in the room that, just being very talking general about different themes and subjects that you tried to address as elephants in the room, but then everybody gaslit you and said you were crazy.
Um, it was so many years ago as a little girl. I don't remember specifically the specific incidences. Um, but yeah, I really wish that I could come up with an incident, but I can't right now. Can't remember anything. But the main thing was whenever I opened my mouth to tell the truth, I was shot down and told that I was crazy. Yeah.
Right. Was it usually things, a lot of the times it's hate, like racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, like stuff like that?
No, because I think I was still too young for that,
Oh,
to
okay.
notice that. I just was really, I'm talking about, being 7, 8, 9 years old.
Yeah, like there's that one story you had about the kid who was anti-Semitic to you.
Yeah.
Was it ever something like that where you tried to address that in your family and they're like,
Yeah, absolutely. And I shared with the family and they were all silent. And then I asked my mom if she would pick me up at school because he was out to get me. His
"Mhm."
name is David Spinney. I have to say his name all the time.
I
And
know.
and she said no. Here I
Wow.
was, as 7 year old, and she said no. And that was the beginning of me realizing that I was on my own in my family and nobody
Yeah,
was going to take care of me. And
I know.
it just looking back again, when years go by, there's a perspective and a maturity and compassion that moves in. And I realized with my mother why she said no. She was probably terrified. She was scared of everything. And she was probably so scared she couldn't take care of me. She probably
Yeah.
couldn't even take care of herself. So um,
Yeah.
I had to find ways to survive on my own. It's a lousy way to, uh,
Yeah.
to take care of yourself at such a young age, but sometimes, I was just forced into it. I had to find ways of taking care of myself. Yeah.
Yeah, because it almost like with the culture of silence, there was a culture of, well, it like almost like the you know, almost like really long time ago, like homosexuality didn't exist. It's for a long time, bullying did exist. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, like that's just the way the world is. You have to deal with it. And it seems like in the mainstream media, it wasn't cool to, these bullying campaigns weren't until like 2010. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember that? When it finally came cool to stop bullying is, just like with Me Too, it takes forever. you know, you, it's like, really? You think bullying was just invented in 2010? Like it was so crazy. Um, but also I wanted to go back to, can you think of like any specific works of art, any art or books, movies, music, any um specifics that you can think of that really like changed your, worldview and influenced you, stuff like that.
Um, Betty, there was this woman. I'm an old lady. So there was this woman named Betty Friedan.
Yeah.
She was one of the ones in the feminist movement.
The
And
the feminine mystique. Yeah.
I'm reading that in the hospital after I have my first baby. And I'm going, what the F am I going to do?
Wow.
It really started to wake me up and realize there was more to my life and more to a woman's life than just having a baby. And there
Right.
I was reading The Feminine Mystique. And then there was another book that came out. There was an amazing book that came out about, it was called Erica Jong with Fear of Flying. And
Oh yeah.
it was about the zipless fuck and all this other stuff. I mean, it was very, very liberating to read it. And it was opening up this whole new world for me of liberation.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
it just totally, not only my life, it changed many, many people's lives, many
Yeah.
people's lives.
Wow. What
But
was the zipless fuck?
it was really it was again going meeting somebody and not even having to bother their name or
Oh,
anything.
like casual sex.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
called it the zipless fuck. Yeah. So
Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And so and then I happen to know some of the people that were written about in the book. I had happened to
Oh,
meet them personally. So
oh.
that made it
In the
even,
Erica Jong one?
yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you know what's so funny? I first heard of her just like few weeks ago because her daughter was on The View talking about her book about Erica going through like I think dementia
Yes,
and
yes,
then her daughter like dealing with it and writing about it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean she went through a lot of pain with her mom. Yeah. But
yeah.
my ex, my love at the time, was a lawyer, and he was renting space from all these people that were in the book. So I got to meet all of them, and it was pretty wild, pretty wild. Yeah.
Oh,
I
cool.
don't think I actually met Erica Zhang, but I met some other people who were written about in the book. Yeah.
Oh, your boyfriend was like the landlord?
No, no, he was a
Or
lawyer renting space with these other women because one was a judge, one was a lawyer.
oh,
Yeah.
like they're in the same apartment building.
No, no, they rented space, office space. So
Oh, okay. Now I get it. Sorry.
yeah, so that's how I met them. Yeah, and when I read the book, and then my love said to me, I work with some of these women, and so I got to meet some of them. It was very
Wow,
cool.
that's so cool. Was that in like 70s, 80s?
Yeah,
Yeah, that is so cool.
yeah.
I know. I guess I have to be um, have full disclosure that I'm obsessed with the 70s.
Really?
Yeah. I
Because
I'm constantly a lot of the music and movies from that time, I don't know what it is, but I think it's the greatest. And then recently I explained to myself why I love the 70s. And I think it's because, life isn't about, how you deal with success. It's about how you deal with failure, I think. And so, or I think it's more so that. And so, with the failure of the 60s and like Vietnam, Nixon, and, the whole like idealisms of the bohemian dashed, right? Then the 70s, along with like financial crises and everything like that, in the 70s, it was like a dark period where, they're dealing with the failures, and you have all this like dark mainstream art, like a lot, like that's when like punk and hard rock came in, because it's like a dark time, so you have, like a band like Led Zeppelin is like the biggest band, which
and I
wouldn't
also
have
think that
happened in other decades, huh?
that was also the time street art was huge
Yeah,
all over,
yeah,
because
and
it was
like,
and on subways, everything. It was another way, other ways to express oneself, you
yeah,
know.
because I think we had to almost like that was like our therapy of dealing with the failures of the 60s and before. And so then you have like these movies, like a lot of mainstream 70s movies, they could still be made, but they would be like small indie movies that you'd have to go look for. These big mainstream movies like The Godfather, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Serpico, just basically anything with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, um, and like Chinatown and Taxi Driver. So these 70s movies, these are like mainstream movies that are plastered everywhere. These aren't little indie movies
No,
that
no.
would be now. They would be little indie movies now, or
Yeah.
the only way they'd get made now. They wouldn't be the mainstream, you know, blockbuster movies that they were
Yeah.
back then. So there's like a darkness in the mainstream that is just so beautiful, and why I love the 70s so much. And it's the last decade before the conservatives and the internet ruined everything after. So the 70s is like the perfect alchemy for me of like culture in the old media before the new media just makes it all, omniscient or something, but gives everybody a channel. Um, and so yeah, like what do you think of that? Like experiencing that change over time? Like, what do you think about all that?
Oh, I mean, I was told, being involved in the feminist movement, it just opened me up, and I realized there was just so much more to being alive than just being a mom and just working. And I just got involved in understanding and enjoying my sexuality, and being with, like I say in one of my stories, it was like I was in an ice cream shop and I had to experience all the flavors, everything, you know, it was
Yeah.
the floodgates opened. The floodgates opened, and I just had to try and experience all that I could. Yeah. So it really began. I went through lots of changes, and with my hair and with my way of thinking, the way I dressed, my sexuality, just everything. I began to change. Yeah, it was.
Wow. Yeah. And there's a lot of like, I guess with the 50th anniversary of everything in the 70s happening now, they've been, you know, kind of going through history with a lot of things like with the Share Height book. Do you remember that? Yeah, so there did you see that documentary that just came out?
No.
I think it's The Disappearance of Share Height, and that's very recommended. That was amazing. Like everything she did to try to expose um, sexual oppression. And then another thing I saw was the town hall or no, Town Bloody Hall. Have you seen that documentary?
No,
That's
no.
another really interesting one where all these like feminist figures um they debate Norman Mailer,
Oh, okay.
and
You
it's
know,
it's really funny and it's a lot of fun and it's really interesting, and that was filmed in 1971.
I met him. Would you
Oh,
believe it? My ex and I were in a rabbi's office in Brooklyn Heights. We were going to get married in our home, and he was in there with his soon-to-be wife with the same thing, and we met him with his to-be wife at the time. So that was funny. That was really funny. Yeah.
oh, cool. So like, do you remember any like the conversation or anything?
Nah.
Oh, it
Nah.
wasn't like a in-depth talk.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
okay,
Just one of
interesting.
those perfunctory hi, nice meeting you, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Do you have any other stories of like people you met and like any interactions like that you remember before?
Um, well, what comes to mind is another thing that changed me dramatically is when I lived at a Buddhist retreat center in Vermont for 2 years. I was at the height of my book publicity career. I had a book that was on the New York Times for 63 weeks. It was a 12-year-old book too, but
Oh, wow.
then I just made the decision that it was time. I had proved to myself that I could do something really great in the business world. I had a skill. That was important to me. And but then I made the decision because the inside needed so much help to leave and go live at the Buddhist retreat center. And of course, who does that? In this culture, they thought I was out of my mind, that I was going into a cult. I get it. I get it all. I knew why I was doing it, but everybody else on the outside, they thought I was out of my mind,
Uh,
because
yeah,
who leaves when you make it big in your career? You don't walk away. But I had to. And it was one of
right.
the best things I've ever done for myself. The most difficult, but one of the best things I ever did. I came back a
Oh,
changed person. Yeah, it was very cool, but hard.
yeah. I've heard it seems like there's a lot of stories like that where people have a great success and they realize um they thought maybe the success would make them happy, and so when it doesn't, they almost have to do like a come to Jesus moment and reassess their philosophy on life because this thing they achieved doesn't bring them the happiness they thought. So is that what you were going through kind of?
Well, it took me by surprise. I didn't plan anything. And when it became so successful, my boss at the time, who I, the self-published author, she got a big deal from Penguin. So she just assumed that I was going to stay with her, to go through with her next book deal because I was just working solely for her.
Mm.
And what started to happen is I realized that I just hated who I was. And it was so intense that I knew I had to do something about it. And I had been contemplating this move to this retreat center maybe 2 years ago before, but I wasn't ready. And all of a sudden, I began to see that I was ready. I needed to go. And I was leaving all of this stuff that really didn't mean anything to me. I felt this was most important for me to do. And my intuition was leading me there. Usually I go with my intuition and work and play. It usually leads me, when I listen, in the right direction. And it was really one of the most difficult and one of the best things I did for myself. I was so glad I did it. I
Yeah.
had to start over when I came back, but it was worth it. It was worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was like a therapy kind of like, right? Would you say that was basically the main thing? It's like a big therapy.
No,
Oh,
no,
it's
I mean,
almost deeper. Like,
it was really getting involved with meditation and learning how to keep my mouth shut, learning how to be still with my mind, learning how I didn't have to talk all the time because I was terrified of being alone, terrified of silence. So I had to deal with all that. And in the beginning, it was terrifying to sit with my own mind in a meditation hall for like 4 hours. Oh my goodness. Oh my. I thought I am a complete failure. I'll never be able to do this. But um, by the end of almost the end of the 2 years, I was completely, it was amazing. It was just, even people came up to me who lived with me and told me it was just amazing the transformation
wow.
that occurred within me. Yeah, it was really amazing. My boyfriend, too, he, because he had to deal with a lot of stuff with me there. And he said, near the end, he said, it's amazing how much you've changed for the better. Yeah.
Yeah,
He,
because that was one of the first, was that one of the first storytelling things that you told is all about that retreat?
it could have been. It could have
Yeah,
been. Yeah.
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 Because I even remember kind of, because I think I might have seen you, because how long have you been going to Stark Reality? Like the last 8 to 10 years? I think I've seen you there like at least like 5 years ago, right?
No, I think it's been like maybe 3 years I've been doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm thinking back then, maybe like 3 years ago when I first saw you, you would talk about, I think, that retreat
I did
and
do
yeah,
a
how it
story on
changed
that.
you and
Yeah.
how you had to go through that.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh. Yeah, I gave you the whole kind of my whole routine through the day.
yeah,
And I also show people, uh, I tell people rather, um, that they think that anybody that goes on the outside world, a lot of people feel as though, oh, if you're at a retreat center, you're just calm, cool, and collected. And basically you're crazy. But that's why you're there. It's because you're out of your mind. And so there were
yeah.
all these out of your mind people, we had to deal with each other. So it was
Yeah,
pretty
and then we just had to wrap up quick because the time was up. But
okay.
here, I just wanted to tell everybody the cosmic etymology I wrote for you because this is why you lived up to your name with your storytelling because Sherri Rosen shares rosy stories.
Yes.
And I thought that was perfect. Like, oh wow, she's living up to her name.
Yeah.
It's a perfect frequency. Yeah. So with that, that's the end of the thank you. So thanks everybody for listening. This was
Thank you,
Sherry
baby.
Sherri Rosen
Mwah.
sharing her rosy stories.
Bye,
Yeah, see ya.
love.